Today is March 2nd, 2024. Um, after the last video where I had talked to that one girl in Walmart, where she was broke up with her boyfriend at one point, and she went on online dating, and she started talking to this one guy. And he said, they were talking about different things and even being together. And he said, well, I can't go out tonight. I am embarrassed to say that he was going to go to a bar. She's like, why would you be embarrassed you're going to a bar? Well, it's a strip club. She's like, you go out strippers? Strippers have AIDS. Or some kind of STDs or something. You don't have it, do you? And he's like, well, yes, he had HIV, but he had it controlled under drugs. She started yelling at him. You could have gave it to me. It would have killed me. And you weren't going to say anything, and you were going to touch me. And she went off on it. And then he tried to turn around on her. It was her fault for asking. No, it was his fault for not telling her. And he could have killed her. That him and him and a stripper up there are fuck buddies. And that they do like oral sex on guys. And they talk to someone else. They said they drop $200 to $300. In those strip clubs at bare minimum. Then if you want sex, it's more. Then they have the private rooms where they do everything. It's prostitution. Okay? So everybody that stripper's been with, they now all have AIDS. It's probably where he got it from, was that stripper. Okay? Well, I met somebody for just a nice plate dinner. Just sat around and talked. Well, I stood up, there's some guys in there. And they said they found out that it was John that told on her before. None of this is funny. Well, that's where I went Faith Family Church last Saturday night, and the sheriff in uniform, now they have watched me. And they said, we all know they opened it up for me in case they have us help watch it. She said it's that John with a weird last name. We all know they made fun of the FBI agent John for falling for their stunts. I want to talk to him. You need to arrest him, officer. You need to arrest him. He did all this to steal from the government. He told Apostolic Church of Barberton, before I called him back, I told him on a record line, someone told on me, and he called me a liar. It was him. Dave told Danny he talked to him at that church. There was over 300 people at Paymer's. Stranger's Church is about 200. Blaylock's Church is 200 to 300. He met on a recorded line. He met with the church people, and he met with that family that lost their kid that I had nothing to do with, but are just wanting to kill somebody. And he admitted he met with them. With him talking to all three churches, I mean, we're talking 500 to 700 people easy, if not more. It would have been less people if he stood on the court or on the street corner camp with a blowhorn. Hey, did you know Karen Hall called the FBI hotline? Less people would have heard. Then they sold the login to the case within the first month or two, and then it went nationwide. I had people from Washington State, California, Texas, New York, Pennsylvania, Indiana, Illinois, Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, Michigan, and somebody, I think, Wyoming or Utah. Went across the nation and went viral. Like I said, everybody knows what's going on but her family. It got to the point of stupid. Dave already knew I called the FBI. He made fun of me for some guy named Pete framing me and how I didn't know. And here it's not Pete, it's Alex with a beard. And something about somewhere doctor selling information. And here it's some drug dealer just saying he's a doctor from Altman Hospital selling information. That would, if it was a real doctor, I'd be a multimillionaire. Where the nurse is December 30th, 23, Altman Emergency. They were talking. No one's to talk to those people. They even had a man impersonate a doctor from Altman Hospital selling information. The hospital said I could get sued. Oh, yeah, it's at any time a doctor talks to anybody without your written consent is $250,000 fine and a 10-year sentence. And then you can get them for liable for damages. They would make me a millionaire. A millionaire. Impersonating a doctor is 1 to 10. And then they were talking, and no one's to back those doctors from before. My God, they were lying so bad. They even said she had brain tumors and there was nothing wrong with her. It was the medication they were giving her making her sick. There was nothing wrong with her and they lied. And it was medication errors. Nobody backs medical malpractice and medication errors. And some officers walked by and said, those doctors from before were lying on her? I said, yes. They were ripping off her insurance. It was medication errors that made her sick before. None of this is funny. That's where January 9th, 2024 in Belden, some lady investigators, was that agent thinking? We looked it up. It wasn't even a doctor from Altman Hospital. It was just some guy saying he was. And no doctor of hers could ever talk to him because of HIPAA violations. What was he thinking? He thought he was thinking of a perfect victim. One that had been drugged up, beaten, raped, and it has bruises she can't explain, throwing up, heart racing, and a severe personal infection, and almost passing out. And I'm going to the doctor. I don't know what's wrong with me. Did you fall? No. Maybe you're having anemic. Even my muscles hurt. We'll get you some muscle relaxers and some iron pills. My head's pounding. I'm almost passing out. And I have a severe personal infection. And I can't. I go to the bathroom and they're treating all the signs of being drugged, beaten, raped. And because I never seen anybody, never talked to them before the FBI, I didn't know anything. And that agent on a recorded line making fun of me for some guy named Pete, blaming me and how I didn't know. I did know. And it wasn't Pete, it was Alex in a beard impersonating a retired judge that no one remembered. He had been, 75, 80, 85. He wouldn't have an 18-year-old daughter. He just would have had to Google him and see that it wasn't him. And then verify that other guy. And he knew no doctor could talk to him. It was the stupidest scam on earth. He told that agent, they called me back, told Apostolic Church of Barberton he knew I was being drugged, beaten, raped. And he didn't care. And he tried to blame Strange's lie of 15 years before you were faking you were sick and it was a medication error. After I had 6 to 10 surgeries, my muscles locked up, went to a bunch of crackpots, falsely diagnosed me, gave me the wrong medicine, and I swelled up from my feet to my brain. My heart got off. My thyroid and adrenal gland quit working. And I almost died. And it took another doctor to tell me that they were the ones making me sick. And that it was medication making me sick. And that they were all lying, getting kickbacks from the drug companies of $200 to $1,000 per false prescriptions. It took another doctor to tell me that the other ones were just ripping my insurance company off. And I got with Dr. Eli. Dr. Eli confirmed, got me on fentanyl pouches. They don't give fentanyl to fakers. They give it in the last part of cancer. He said, I got to get you out of enough pain to move those locked muscles. And as you move them, blood flow will get back into them. They can build new muscle tissue. There's nothing else wrong with you. Everything else is medication related. Get you off the medication. Be surprised how fast you get well. It still took me 9 months to learn to walk again, but all the brain swelling, heart problems, my thyroid started working again, and my adrenal gland, my heart problems were gone within a month or two, and the brain swelling was gone. It was all induced by the medication. They encouraged Dave and I to sue him for 2 years for medical malpractice. It's documented medical malpractice and documented medication errors. They even said I had brain tumors and wanted to take part of my brain out. Told me I would not remember but little parts of my life. And that's why I went to my doctor. What do you think? And she's like, whoa, we're going to have a long talk. What those doctors are doing, there's nothing wrong with you. You don't have brain tumors. And I have the diagnosis of pituitary level 2 brain tumors. And there was nothing wrong with me. They were the ones making me sick. And that family just wanting attention. And that's where it's a sociopath or psychopath. Psychopaths, they said it's genetic. When they do a PET scan of your brain, they can feel happy, joy, and excitement. They can't feel fear, remorse, empathy, or sympathy. So they know that they don't know anything's wrong. Okay? That's where Phil, her dad, was racing in the car with his grandkid. You don't ever speed with your grandkid in the car, right? You don't go so fast that you blow through a stop sign. You don't blow through a stop sign with a grandkid in the car. But he was getting the excitement of making his grandkid laugh, showing off in front of a whole bunch of church people. And I'm at home, I'm almost wowed by that. And because I started in November of 2002, and it was May of 2003, I was almost well in April. Like I said, I lost 30 pounds of fluid the first month. I was so swollen. A doctor said, it's to the point you need dialysis even though you're still urinating. You have so much liquid on you, you actually need dialysis. My legs were popping out of place and everything. I was drowning in it. Being on the wrong medications. I almost died. And it took me 9 months to learn to walk again on numb feet. Okay? Well, him blowing through that stop sign in a semi, and he's going so fast it explodes their vehicle, and Tyler gets ejected, and he got torn into several pieces. Okay? That's in May. I got well in July. Just went to their church. Had nothing to do with it. The whole ordeal was like 4 years. Okay? From beginning to end. And it took me 9 months to learn to walk again. Come November of 2003, it's a year later from the time I started with Eli, I'm finally well. My sister Linda is married to his strangest son, Tim, and he was cheating on her with Katie. And she caught him out and she started following him. She's too afraid to say anything. She got caught and they thought it was me. And Strange made up that lie to discredit me and get rid of me real quick. Well, it has nothing to do with that family 6 months before. Her father speeding running a stop sign. It didn't even touch their life. It had nothing to do with them. So, but like I said, it was weird. It's appropriate to drop off food, flowers, cards, and small gifts the first week or two. Just pushing it into a month. 6 months later, like people said, it's almost like they worship them. They were planting trees, wanting to do plaques, all kinds of crazy crap. And they're millionaires. They didn't need their food. They probably threw it in the trash. They're millionaires. They don't eat other people's prepared food. They're millionaires. But they were getting all this attention. And it took away from their attention. It had nothing to do with them or their incident. Nothing. Him just making up a shitty baby lie. Oh, she's faking through all that. You'd have to be a dumbass to fall for it. I was talking to a criminal attorney. I said, you can't fake that shit. He's like, no, you can't. I have an MRI report showing the swelling, blood work showing everything shut down, and documents of them saying I have brain tumors and all kinds of stuff. I didn't have anything wrong with me. There's a medication making me sick. So even on that recorded line, that agent makes fun of me for some guy named Pete framing me how I didn't know. Here it's not even retired Judge Pete, that stripper. Her brother Alex in a beard. If he would have looked him up, he would have realized he didn't have an 18-year-old daughter. And it wasn't him. But he didn't even look him up. I want you to think about that. Getting the idea. And he, like they said, what was that on January 9th, 2024, what was that agent thinking? No Dr. Hers could talk to him because of a HIPAA violation. He'd have to get him arrested. Oh, like 10-year sentence and a $250,000 fine. We looked it up. It was just some guy saying it was a doctor. It's a drug cartel guy. Oh, that's why I said it's a case of the two pimps and the prostitute. But yeah, he admitted that he met with the church people, that family that lost their kid that I had nothing to do with, that was just wanting attention. And see, now they got attention for people trying to kill me for them. They feed off of it. Makes them excited and happy. Had nothing to do with their kid's death. And it had nothing to do with Strange making up a baby lie to get rid of me because he thought I caught his son in adultery. There was my sister. See what I mean? And them wanting attention out of this? That's how mentally ill they are. And then that agent act like he's a crazy occult person and that he's going to go along with it for that. And I have nothing to do with it. And they even said he didn't blame him for trying to kill me for it. Like they could get away with murder. And then made fun of me for some guy named Pete framing me. And how I didn't know. Only Pete I knew was my brother Medina. I didn't know anything about Michelle, and I didn't know about some guy impersonating retired Judge Pete. And I didn't know about some guy impersonating a doctor. And he admits to everything on a recorded line. You do realize, and then they sold the login across the nation the first month. Got to the point of me not saying anything stupid. Like I said, everybody knows what's going on, but her family. They sold the login the first month. They announced it from the cops. They're selling the login for $25 a pop. It went nationwide. Now, that's where it comes down to then where I talked to a criminal attorney, the prosecutor's office, and police department. Because the Constitution, First Amendment, freedom of speech. Agents are only hired police officers. They don't have the authority to ask you to stay quiet. Then it gets to the point of why you stay quiet, because everybody knows. And he told at least 500 to 700 people, maybe 900, before he even talked to me. And confessed on a recorded line. Witnessed by the police and others meeting with Dave at that church when I walked off. Dave told Danny to talk to him. Everybody knew before he talked to me. And he doesn't have the authority. It takes a sitting judge in a sequestered or grand jury due to the freedom of speech. He couldn't even ask me to stay quiet. He's just bullying me. There's badgering laws. They have to take a victim or witness or informant statement if they believe them or not and follow through. Okay? Or it's obstruction of justice, tampering with evidence, and tampering with witnesses is exactly what he did. You know, I've talked to sheriffs out this area. That agent stole your money, then he stole others, and you're not his first or only victim if they look into it. Okay, he's stealing from victims. Okay? All right. And due to the right of privacy, no one can be in your home but protected like cases with statements. Police or agencies do it as entrapment. Otherwise, they're stalking tapes, speaking time tapes, and voyeurism tapes. And like the former CIA agent that I talked to, there's no excuse. They weren't arrested the first day. That agent nipped this. They can't do any of it. And he should have took care of you. And they should have went to jail for what they did. Yes, they should have. But I was the perfect victim. I covered with bruises, throwing up, heart racing, infected. I'm going to the doctor, and the doctor's not even putting it together. Because I'd never seen anybody, and I didn't talk to anybody of sexual predators preying on me. When I told them that was what was going on, they're like, that was what was making you sick. Your ex-husband's a vile, sick animal. And if you look at these people, but anything but vile, sick animals, there's something wrong with you. The mentality of you. The mentality of hurting and victimizing victims. It's just like that family being all happy because you guys are trying to hurt me for them. Like they said, they made up an excuse to kill me. And those people, because it took away from their attention and it made them mad, when he started the rumor about me, it was a lie, it took away from their attention, so it made them mad. So they took all their hurt and pain and decided to kill me for it. Just pick out a victim to hurt. Now you start thinking about how evil of a son of a bitches they are. And these people are nothing but pure evil. where that sheriff said he wants to talk to that John. What's he going to say? Because like they said, they already made fun of John for falling for this. We already know that FBI agent John, they've made fun of him. Everybody knows. They know the silver login too. That's where I was up in Akron. Oh, probably May of last year. April, May of last year, started with a client. The police department in that area, it's either the Summit County Sheriff's or the Akron PD, walk around knocking on the door. Have you ever listened to Karen before? Yes. Because they all know they stole the login. Did she ever mention Agent John, and they said his weird last name? He said yes, several times at the beginning of the case. We were wondering if it was him. Do you think that agent fell for the stun tapes before? He said he better not have known about him because he was to take care of him. Like I thought, well, he made fun of me on a recorded line for him and how I didn't know. I'm sitting out with my client and I'm watching this officer talk to people with his clipboard. And he said, we already know everything's photoshopped on her before. How they do it? He said, I don't know, but she's never met the man that actually did it to her. And none of this is funny. I had another investigator last summer out there. It's that idiot stealing her money. That is what's going on. Okay? All right. In September or October of last year, I'm sitting out with my client. Some lady's walking with a guy and her dog. Walking by and said, none of this is funny. Even some of the drug dealers that they hired to help watch her, they don't even find it funny anymore. Okay? Did she do anything wrong? No. The drug dealers made fun of the FBI for falling for their stunt. They already confessed they photoshopped everything and made fun of the FBI for falling for it. She said, I went to her ex-husband and asked him if it was a medication error before. And he said yes. And he didn't tell anybody and let all those people hurt her. None of this is funny. Start thinking of the sick mentality. Now, that agent would have just had to Google those people and he would have known who was sitting in front of him. It wasn't those people. But he thought he had a victim that had been drugged up by an occult and a cartel. So bad that the doctor's not even getting what's going on. And Rufy's just sleepwalking under somebody else's control. And photoshopping or washing or effeminate wifey in the other room. Yeah. In a sextortion scheme, he knew he was to arrest him, not make fun of a victim. But he thought he could steal from me. I'm going to upload this.